Welcome to my channel. Support our channel by subscribing. Your subscription helps us grow and create more intriguing content like this. Now, let's dive into today's story. Decided on a relaxing day and found my wife with her yoga instructor. She asked for another chance, so I played along, then wiped her photography business clean. My buddy Ethan called me up, sounding completely stunned, and asked if I could grab a coffee and lend an ear. Of course, I couldn't say no. Ethan's a graphic designer with a calm demeanor, the kind of guy you'd never expect to end up in a dramatic situation. But life, as they say, has its twists. Let me set the stage for you. Ethan's wife, Clara, is a vibrant and creative woman who runs her own photography business. She's known for capturing moments in a way that feels almost magical, and her work is highly sought after. Clara's been taking yoga classes for a few months, and she often talked about her instructor, Adrian, who's apparently a mix of charm, wit, and perfect hair. Ethan would laugh it off whenever Clara mentioned Adrian because, honestly, he trusted her completely. Clara and Ethan had been married for 6 years, and their life together had always been a blend of love, laughter, and occasional challenges, like any other couple. Now, back to Ethan's call. He tells me he'd planned a surprise day off to spend some quality time with Clara. He even prepared breakfast, her favorite avocado toast with poached eggs and fresh orange juice, and was all set to whisk her away for a relaxing day. His plan was thoughtful, a morning hike followed by lunch at their favorite lakeside cafe. But when he went to find her, she wasn't in the house. Her car was gone too. He texted her, but no response. Curiosity turned into concern, and concern into an uneasy gut feeling. Ethan decided to check Clara's studio, only to find her there, not alone. Adrian, the yoga instructor, was with her, and it wasn't a casual work discussion. Ethan's mind raced, but he stayed calm. He observed them from a distance, taking in the scene without alerting them to his presence. The way they stood close, the hushed tones of their conversation, and the laughter that didn't belong in a professional setting. It all told Ethan what he dreaded to admit. Instead of bursting in, he decided to retreat and think things through. He drove back home, his mind a whirlwind of emotions, betrayal, confusion, and a deep ache in his chest. When Clara got home later that evening, Ethan confronted her. He didn't yell or accuse her harshly. He simply asked her to explain. Clara's face turned pale as she realized he knew. She broke down, admitting she'd made a mistake. She confessed that she'd let things go too far with Adrian, but insisted it was a moment of weakness and not a reflection of her feelings for Ethan. She begged for another chance, swearing it wouldn't happen again. Ethan, still reeling, decided he'd give her one, but not without a plan. Here's where things get interesting. Ethan told Clara he needed time to process everything, but agreed to try to rebuild their relationship. Meanwhile, he dug deeper into Clara's photography business. They'd built much of it together, and he realized how intertwined their professional lives were. Ethan had designed her website, created marketing materials, and even managed her finances during the early stages of her career. With careful strategy, he started disentangling his contributions, his designs, his marketing efforts, even his financial support. Clara was too distracted trying to fix their marriage to notice. The following days were a whirlwind for Ethan. He immersed himself in unraveling their shared business efforts. Every piece of work he had contributed, every email thread he had written, he made sure to carefully catalog them and ensure they were legally accounted for under his name. Ethan's meticulous nature came in handy here. He had always been methodical, and this was no exception. Clara, on the other hand, was oblivious, thinking Ethan was truly trying to work on their relationship. To further the guise of reconciliation, Ethan suggested they attend couples therapy. Clara eagerly agreed, seeing it as a chance to fix what had broken between them. During these sessions, Ethan remained calm and open, but he also used the time to observe Clara closely. It was a delicate balance. showing just enough vulnerability to appear sincere while maintaining his resolve to follow through with his plan. Ethan began reaching out to his closest friends and confidants for support. One of them, Sarah, a sharp-witted lawyer, became his go-to for advice on how to navigate the legalities of separating his work from Clara's business. Sarah had known Ethan for years and was fiercely protective of him. She wasted no time in laying out a plan for how he could protect his intellectual property and contributions. "Ethan," she said during one of their long discussions, "you need to protect yourself, both emotionally and professionally. This isn't just about what Clara did, it's about ensuring your future isn't tied to someone who's already broken. Why?" As weeks went by, Ethan started to see cracks in Clara's facade. While she claimed to be committed to repairing their relationship, her actions didn't always align with her words. Ethan noticed she was still texting Adrian, albeit covertly. He didn't confront her right away. Instead, he documented everything. He knew that if he was going to walk away, he needed to do so with his eyes wide open and his evidence intact. One evening, Ethan decided to test the waters. Over dinner, he casually brought up the idea of taking a short vacation together, just the two of them. Clara hesitated, claiming her work schedule was too packed. Ethan nodded, pretending to understand, but inside, he felt the weight of her unwillingness to prioritize their relationship. It was another nail in the coffin. After dinner, Ethan quietly reviewed her phone records and found more communication with Adrian than she had let on. The betrayal cut deeper than before. The day of reckoning came sooner than Clara expected. Ethan had finally disentangled himself from her business. He had backed up all his work, filed necessary claims to ensure his contributions were recognized, and prepared himself emotionally for what was to come. On a quiet Sunday morning, he asked Clara to sit down for a talk. "Clara," he began, his tone steady, "I've given this a lot of thought. I've tried to understand, to forgive, and to move forward. But the truth is, I can't keep pretending that things can go back to the way they were." Clara's face fell. "Ethan, please. We can fix this. I made a mistake, but I love you. I'll do whatever it takes." He shook his head, sadness and resolve mingling in his expression. "It's not just about what you're willing to do now. It's about what you've already done, the choices you made and how they've changed us. I can't keep building a life with someone I can't fully trust." He stood up, placing a neatly organized folder on the table. "These are the papers finalizing my separation from the business. You'll find all the details inside. I've also outlined my contributions and ensured you'll have access to the resources you need to continue. But from this point on, we're on separate paths." Clara's tears flowed freely, but Ethan remained firm. He had given her a chance to change, but she had squandered it. Walking away wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Months later, Ethan was thriving. He had started freelancing and rediscovered his passion for creating art. His friends rallied around him, and he even began attending yoga classes himself, not as a way to replace Clara, but as a way to reclaim his sense of self. As for Clara, she continued running her photography business, though it was clear she was struggling without Ethan's steady hand. She reached out to him once, asking for closure, but Ethan politely declined. His chapter with her was over. Ethan's story is a testament to resilience and self-respect. It's a reminder that while forgiveness is a virtue, it's also okay to set boundaries and prioritize your own well-being. So, what do you think about Ethan's story? Would you have handled it differently? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share if this story resonated with you. Thanks for sticking around.